Alright, so recently I've been getting very much into Neil Gaiman's Sandman stories. I've been looking for the books to collect, and I've been... Because truthfully, the only thing I own with Sandman in it is an issue of the Pre-52 Action Comics number 894, which is, for those who don't know, that's the story where Death, from Neil Gaiman's Sandman, goes into the main DC universe and has this really... This is the whole issue in a nutshell. It's just her and Lex Luthor having this conversation about what's happened in the DC universe. So this is hot off the heels of Blackest Night and mid-deep into Brightest Day. So it was this very just cool conversation between two characters you'd never thought would have a conversation. Lex Luthor having a talk with Death. So this has kind of got me thinking, what other characters would be cool to have as what other characters would be cool to have the Endless meet? For those who don't know, the Endless are the seven entities that are pretty much the end-all be-all characters. They are what literally makes the world go round in some aspects. They are dream, destiny, death, despair, delirium, desire, and destruction. And they're kind of like the endless patterns of the universe. They're always going to be around. So that's kind of the thing, is that what other characters, not in a fight, because these guys are they're the most powerful beings. They are literally just incredible. They're even feared. They're even worshipped by the gods because in the universe Neil Gaiman set up is that there are other pantheons. The pantheons are out there, and there aren't a lot of characters that can take them on. And even they do mention the fair folk, like Oberon's children and all of them, and even they're afraid of the Endless. So I thought, how cool would it be if these characters ever met other characters and just had conversations with them? These just really cool conversations with all these characters, because Neil Gaiman's characters have crossed into only the DC universe. They're Vertigo characters, but they've crossed into the DC universe before. Dream helped rescue the Justice League and Earth from a Starro invasion in a 3-part story. Dream also appeared in The Spectre, and a few other titles. There was a few other titles that some of these characters, only Dream and Death, have entered the main DC universe. Destiny. Destiny also traveled into the DC universe as well. But I was thinking what other cool, other characters out there would be cool to have in here, and just meet. Sorry, I just had my brain just stopped there for a second. So here's my list of characters that I'd really like to see the Endless meet and just have a conversation with. First off, the Doctor. From, of course, Doctor Who. The Doctor, I want the Doctor to meet all 7 of the Endless. I just want to... the Doctor has encountered all of these at one point. He's had dreams. He's faced death. He's caused destruction. He's also had so many desires. He's discovered despair. He's gone into delirium. He's going to discover his destiny very soon. So, I'd love to have him in just these series of stories, just meet all of the Endless one by one, and just have these conversations with them. I think the one that of course, this would be the Matt Smith era Doctor, but I think it would be interesting, over a series of incarnations the Doctor encounters them, I don't know, I'm trying to think here which incarnation would be best. I think with Destruction, the 9th Doctor having a conversation with Destruction would be very interesting. With the 10th Doctor, it would be definitely Despair. I think he'd have a conversation with Despair. In terms of other Doctors, I think the 8th Doctor would encounter Destiny, because I'd have it there's going to be, it's destined that the Time War is going to happen. And right after the Time War happens, the 8th Doctor meets Destiny himself, saying, you couldn't prevent this. You had to do this. This was your destiny. So the 8th Doctor, Paul McGann era Doctor meeting Destiny would be interesting. With Desire, I think it would be... I don't know which incarnation, but again, or you could just do just the 11th Doctor, just one incarnation of the Doctor, just going around, walking around and meeting each incarnation one at a time and just having conversations with them, because I think you'd have a lot to say to them. Among other characters I really like to see meet the Endless are Q. Q from Star Trek, because here is a character that is so powerful, he's so godlike, and he rarely comes across an enemy that he has, he can't, outsmart or use his power against. Isn't gonna fly with the Endless. Especially, I'd like to see him just meet Dream, or Morpheus as he's known. I'd like to have him Q meet Dream, and Q just suddenly, like, when he realizes this is Dream, he'd be like, sorry, I bow down to you. Because that's the thing. Even Q couldn't match the power of the Endless. And I'd love to have just Q and Dream having a conversation over, Q's sometimes reckless, but almost helpful powers, and Dream just either coming to warn him or thank him on some of the things. Like, Q does everything for a reason, no matter how madcapped it is, and I think Dream could see through all those reasons. So, moving on to the other ones, I think it would be interesting to also one of the Endless meeting Oberon from Gargoyles. Again, he is the king of the fair folk, and the Endless are more powerful than any fair folk. So again, I think Oberon is the most powerful being in the Gargoyles universe, but how amazing would it be just to see Dream, or I think even Destiny, or even, better yet, Death coming to speak to Oberon, and Oberon just completely, like, he has his head down, he's showing nothing but respect. The first time ever you'd see this guy ever showing any of this to people. He's just talking normally. He's kind of being a suck-up to the Endless, because here he is, all-powerful, and now just bowing down to these guys. In terms of, like, other ones, I'd like to see... Well, again, with Gargoyles, I'd like to see the Endless, one of the Endless, probably, again, Death or Dream, or maybe actually Desire meeting Demona, because Desire is kind of like the more sycophant one of the group. It's a he-she, because she changes her gender, or can be both man and woman at once. These guys can take any form they want, so Desire is kind of out there. And I'd definitely say Desire would have liked to have a conversation with Demona, saying, yeah, you're doing good, your sycophant desires, they're all great. And that'd be interesting. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see Desire meet Demona. In terms of other characters in the meeting the Gargoyles, the Endless meeting the Gargoyles, I think it would be interesting if Death met Xanatos. On the grounds of he's trying his best to be immortal, and I can actually see it where Xanatos... he finds this new spell to give him and Fox immortality, but it kind of backfires and temporarily kills him, and this is when he meets Death, and Death just tells him, you're not going to outrun me. No matter how powerful you think you are, everyone returns to me. And I think that would just shake up Xanatos, just having this conversation of, yeah, I'll find a way to beat you. Just having, Xanatos first on, just completely terrified out of his mind at the presence of Death, but then kind of turning around on her, saying, I'm not scared of you. I thought I was scared of you, but I'm not. Because I'll find a way to beat you. I'll find a way to beat even Death. And Death being, the endless entity that she is, she'll just be like, sure, we'll see about that. I'm trying to think here with other characters I'd really like to see the Endless meet. But there are so many guys, there are so many characters that would be cool to have the Endless encounter on their many travels. There are so many characters out there that I'd really like to see the Endless encounter. And here's the thing, you could cross over all the Endless with anything, because they live outside of time and space, and they can go into any universe they'd like. It's kind of like they run everything. They literally they are the end-all, be-all beings, for the most part. They are, because there's always going to be, like their name implies, there's always going to be dreams, there's always going to be death, there's always going to be despair, there's always going to be a destiny for somebody, there's always going to be delirium, there's always going to be destruction, and there's always going to be desires. So, that's the thing, like, they'll always be around. It'd just be interesting to see so many characters just encounter them, and not really fight them. This is the thing. This is not a fight video per se. this is more of them just having conversations with these characters that also have a lot may have a lot in common or a lot to say to the Endless. Like, this will never happen, but Washu from Tenchi Muyo. I'd really like to see Washu meet death. I'd really like to have her meet death on the grounds of she can't die. She's over 20,000 years old, and I'd actually have her at a point where she's so old, she feels so old now that she's kind of getting tired. She's getting worn out by it, and then she meets death, and I'd even have her meet a few other characters. Like, I'd like to have Destruction meet Ryoko as well. I'd like to see Destruction and Ryoko have a talk, and maybe with the other Endless, I'd like to have Dream meet Tenchi. I think that would be an interesting one. Actually, no, Destiny encountering Tenchi. I'd like to see Destiny encounter Tenchi. With terms of other characters, now that I think about it, I think it would be interesting for... So many characters. That's the thing. Now I'm blanking. My apologies. It's been a long day and my head hurts. But anyway, guys, you guys tell me, who would you, if you're a fan of Neil Gaiman's Sandman series, what characters would you like to have each of the Endless meet, or all of the Endless meet, or characters from any genre meet these characters? I really want to know what you guys would think of this. I think this would be an interesting topic. Yeah, I really want to know, guys. Just tell me in the comments below, video response, something. Just let me know, who would you like to see the Endless from Sandman meet in like just to have a talk, any character. Alright guys, that's pretty much it. I'm out.